for everyone.
I know.
But I think the students are at a benefit. They can keep revising the same thing again.
Yes. So I think we are live now, and you can check it on the phone itself. Okay, on the YouTube link.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have some people who are joined in as of now.
Okay.
So let me just check. So in your YouTube, in the YouTube link that you're checking in, there might be some lag. Yeah.
Yes.
So it might come after I think 30 seconds.
Acha, okay.
Yeah. So we have some people
okay. Who are. I think it started coming now. Yeah.
Okay. So you just have to mute your phone down there. Okay. The other phone in which you're using your YouTube, so that there's no voice lag there. So in your YouTube, in YouTube link that you. Okay. I think it started coming now. Yeah. Okay. So you just have to mute your phone down there. Okay. Which you're using your YouTube, so there is no voice lag. So that phone is on mute right now?
Yes, yeah, it is on mute. I think your phone is not on mute.
There's some voice lag, I guess. Just a minute. So are people able to hear us?
The voice is not clear.
I think your phone is not. लैपटॉप में चाहिए hello.
Can you guys hear us properly now?
I think people can, because now that I'm on earphones, I think people should be able to hear me. Yeah, I think people can hear us now.
Yes.
All right, so I think we should start here. Okay, yeah. And it took us, I think, 2-3 minutes of time to set up the entire thing. So firstly, let's welcome Parth here. Okay, so Parth, okay, thanks for joining us for this session.
And
Sure.
guys, here I'll tell you the agenda. Okay, so the main reason why we have this session today is because we want students who have already done this. Okay, students who have already cracked these exams and are about to start their preparation. Okay, like in terms of the MBA journey, they're going to start with their MBA journey now. So this thing should be clear to this thing should be clear to our aspirants who are going to prepare now. Okay, who are in the phase of preparing it right now. So these things, okay, needs to be covered up in this session. So firstly, I need to congratulate Parth, okay, because now that you are cleared, you have cleared your SP Jain, okay, and we were just discussing that the SP Jain college might start from September sometime because of the
Yes.
Corona thing that's happening. So firstly, yes, congratulations to you from MBAP team, everyone. Okay,
Thank you so much.
and let's so first thing that I'm going to ask that how did you and when did you think of MBA, and how did your MBA prep journey start?
Okay, so I started thinking about MBA in March of 2018.
Okay.
So I started my preparation in full mode in
Okay.
March of 2018. I prepped for around 2-3 months, and I thought, "Cat, oh, it might not happen. It's pretty difficult." So I left my
Okay.
preparation there,
Okay.
and I gave CAT 2018, but it was a very raw attempt.
Okay.
I hardly studied, taken a few 2 or 3 mock at CAT. I
Okay.
scored 96 percentile,
Acha.
which was actually a good thing that motivated me. Yeah, no, I'll be able to score even better if I push harder and if I work harder.
Okay.
And at the same time, I was working at Blue Star, and my role was like a product manager. So I started taking more interest into supply chain and that
Okay.
kind of responsibilities. So, so both the things I kept on doing. That one, I started studying for CAT much more seriously, and also
Okay.
taking up more operation and supply chain
Okay.
management kind of responsibilities. So that is when and for 2019, CAT 2019, I started my preparation in March,
Okay.
mid March, and I prepared till obviously till CAT end, and then prepared for SAT in December.
Okay. So then, why was your focus always towards only CAT? Okay, or you had focus or rather some other exam that also should be giving importance as good as CAT?
No, so the focus was always on CAT. So the plan was to give CAT in November, SAT in January, starting of
Okay.
January, and depending until that time, I was sure that the CAT results will come out. So if the
Okay.
CAT hadn't gone well, I would have thought about giving a GMAT attempt in March or maybe April. So that was the plan. So I did not really prepare for NMAT or SNAP or IFT or any exams.
Okay. 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 So okay, just a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing, I think we have some questions from students. Okay, so that people usually ask me
Yeah.
is in terms of cons, logic, verbal, and all that. Okay, so which section took you the most time? Okay, to reach to 98, 99 percentile. Okay, so if you break it down
Okay.
to section wise, okay, we can discuss that per section. So first taking cons, because cons is one section. Okay, where students struggle a lot. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, how did you go about with that?
So the thing with cons is that the section is not very difficult, but the way you give that section in the exam is very difficult. So
Okay.
selection becomes a very important criteria for the entire CAT exam as a whole. Selection is the most important criteria. Being smart which questions to attempt and figuring out which questions to leave is very important. Like maybe like a test cricket match where you know which balls to leave. So it is
Okay.
extremely important. So in the initial 2 or 3 months, my preparation was more in a traditional way. Cons me, there is first question, I'll solve that, second question, third question, fourth question. But what I noticed in different mocks was that I was leaving easier questions which were towards the end, and I was scoring low. Hence, I
Okay.
started for cons, especially, I started solving the entire section in 3 parts. First were the questions which were very easy, which I could solve maybe within 30, 45 seconds, 30 seconds at max. So there were, I could find around 7, 8 questions which I could do easily. So those were the ones I was targeting in the initial 10 minutes, then the medium ones, and then leaving the very difficult ones at the end. So that actually helped me maybe from July or September. This is one strategy which I kept on trying more and more. And that is how I scored about 98, 99 percentile at the actual exam.
Okay. So I think we have Dev who's asking that how can you tell us more about your study background before your job? So I'm not sure what exactly he's asking. Okay.
I think he's asking about my
so basically your
introduction.
graduation. Okay, yeah. So you can
Yeah.
give a brief about that, because that will also help students here.
Yeah, so I am a mechanical engineer from VJTI Mumbai. I passed out in 2017, and since then I worked with Blue Star Limited. I worked there as a product manager. I worked for 26 months. I left in September of 2019, 2 months before CAT. I left my job, and my ACADS are pretty okayish. I scored about 92 at 10th. My 12th was very low, which was 80, and my graduation was about 75%. So my ACADS were pretty low.
Okay, great. So I think that answers Dev's your question, and other people who are there. I would want that if there's any question with respect to the preparation or any section wise thing or with regards to any colleges, because Parth, you can also mention about the calls that you had. So which other calls that you had along with the SP Jain?
Yeah, so along with SP Jain, I had IIT Bombay, SJM Song, I had NITI, I had the newer IIMs, I had MBI Gurgaon. These were the 5 calls that I had.
So right now you're done with all the interviews, everything?
No, my MDI interview is on 4th of March, on the coming Monday.
MBI is still left. Okay.
Yes, MBI.
So Sandeep is asking about your percentile. So what is the exact percentile then, Kat?
Yes, so my exact percentile is 98.19.
98.19. Okay, so that gives a good picture. So that 99 is not the benchmark to get into any of the top 20 colleges of our country. So 98 plus, so this is what I always tell in my class also, that if you have crossed 98 percentile, definitely some or the other top college is definitely going to take you.
Definitely, yes.
So it's not that you should be very particular about a 99 only. But yeah, obviously a 99 gives you even more advantage of clearing into.
It will be a cushion. It will be a cushion to get into, like for the final convert will be a cushion if you get 99.
Yes. So, sir, should I go for CAT this year? Will lockdown affect CAT 2020? So I think they've see things which are not in your control. That you should not think over those things much. See, definitely CAT is going to happen. It's not that CAT is not going to happen. The reason I'm saying that is, if for example this year for the 12th, after 12th, you have NPAT exam for BBA. And they have started conducting those exams from home. So the students are being monitored through the video conferencing. That whether they are in front of the screen or not all the time. So that way exams are conducted. So don't think of this thing that exam will be there or not. Exam is definitely going to be there. Some or the other solution they might find for it. All right. So, couple of more things that I'll take, before answering more questions. So Parth, another very common question that comes, is that I was mentoring some of the students with regards to verbal section. That verbal is something, what to prepare in that. So what needs to be done in verbal? Basically, verbal is, if you know, you mark it. You don't know, you don't mark it. And I'm sure there might be a lot of engineers out there, who face this problem with respect to verbal a lot. So how did you overcome your challenge, or rather verbal section, the tough part that engineers face? How did you overcome that?
So fortunately, verbal was not my weakest part. It was actually the strongest part. The reason being, I had given GRE in 2016. I had taken GRE in 2016, and I had practiced a lot of RCs. So RCs was a very, very crucial part in the entire mock and every CAT paper that I've given. So in the CAT 2018, which was an easier verbal section, I scored 98.5 or something at verbal. So that is one thing. But for obviously for all the engineers, I'll say that keep reading as much as possible.
Okay.
Especially the ZAT verbal and the CAT verbal as well is very reading intensive. If you lose your concentration for even a minute or 2 minutes, you're going to lose
Okay.
very important time. So
Okay.
keep reading. 1 hour reading the entire paper, 1 hour reading is very crucial. And
Okay.
read on different topics.
Yeah.
So this year, CAT, verbal, the RCs were said to be very difficult.
So it comes to everyone when it comes to mentoring. Okay, we do tell students, okay, with regards to reading. But I
Yes.
think, okay, a lot of students face this challenge that because reading becomes very boring and very there's no
Uh-huh.
milestone setting thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
becomes the challenge because in cons you know that there are chapters to be completed and all of that. What do you do more? I mean, in terms of setting the right milestones in your verbal section.
Huh. Correct. So, giving sectionals is extremely important in all the three
Okay.
sections, but it becomes extremely more important in the verbal section
Okay.
because you practice 5 RCs, and those are the
Yeah.
top RCs that all the mock exams they have picked up.
Yeah.
So that is one thing, and you are under time pressure. And the second thing is the verbal part. Those
Okay.
extra questions which are there at the end,
Okay.
they become also very very crucial when you solve them in the sections. So maybe you might not have a lot of content to read, but attempting as many verbal sectionals becomes a good thing. It helps a
Okay.
lot.
Okay. Okay. So some of the questions that people are asking is, if you remember by chance in your CAT, okay, what was your scores or other attempts in each of the sections, if you remember, because I'm not sure whether people will be able to.
Yeah, so I have actually noted it down.
Oh, great. Okay.
So I know the score, which is about 55 in verbal,
Oh, okay.
40 in DILR, and 51 at cons.
That's the score that you're telling me, right?
Yes, that's the score. I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
not
yeah.
really
So
remember the
these are
attempt.
scaled scores, I guess.
These are scale scores. Yes.
Yeah, these are scale
Yes,
scores.
these are
So even
scale
if we take
scores.
it to be the exact number, okay, this is going to be somewhere around the same, okay, which is around 15 to 20 questions. Okay,
Yes.
right. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. All
Yes.
right. So, so Yuvraj is asking, did you practice RCs on digital platform or on ebooks or something? So where did you do most of the reading?
I think I did most of the reading on the digital. I used to read the editorials of the Hindu, Indian
Okay.
Express, and the Guardian. And
Okay.
there are, I think, New York Post has 4 or 5 articles per month free, so you can
Okay.
read those articles.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it
Okay.
becomes extremely crucial that you read from both the Indian newspapers as well and the foreign newspapers as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That becomes very crucial because a lot of
Yes.
people were
Yes.
stumped on
Yes.
in this verbal section because the
Yeah.
RCs were not Indian English,
Okay.
not by Indian writers. So that becomes
Okay.
very crucial.
Yeah. 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 That's there. That's there. All right. So if you offer a gap year, it will be shortlisted for SPGN 21 WorkX now. Okay. I mean, I'll give my input first on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Understand, Sandeep. Okay, for a gap year. Okay, that you train that if you offer a gap year, now there are ways through which you can cover up your gap year. Okay, so there
Yes.
are different ways. I mean, by doing certain certifications. Okay, or by involving yourself in certain projects or internships and all of that. That way you can cover up. Okay, because see, in an overall span of 5-6 years of time that you need to explain, which is going to be from your start of graduation to the post, if you have any experience. Okay, so post graduation, the experience part. So it might be overall span of 3, 4, 5 years of time which you need to explain. In that 4, 5 years, if there's 1 year or 6 months of time, okay, which you had a break, I think that's easier to cover up.
Yes.
Okay, so that can be done. Okay, so anything by the way, Parth, okay, because you have just come from the SP interview process and all that.
Yes.
So anything that you would want to, because I think, did you have a break gap
Yes, I
anytime?
had a break. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So that is
perfect.
why
Then
I
I
think
think
I
you
can
can
answer this
explain it better. Yes. So
better.
what did you answer it and
So
how did you prepare for it?
yeah, so I left my job in September,
Okay.
and so I had 5-6 months free time before my actual SPGen interview. But surprising, and that was one question which was actually dreaded for me. that how will I answer about why did I leave my job.
Okay.
But surprisingly, I did not get a single question in
Okay.
either of the interviews so far.
Okay.
That why
But
did I
then
leave
did you
the job?
prepare for it? Okay, that if you
I
get
did,
what,
yeah.
how are you going to answer it?
Yes, I did
Yes.
prepare for it. Saying so, I actually asked a lot of people, and they were like, "It's okay saying that I left my job for preparation for MBA, for CAT
Okay.
exam, or for anything, for any exam." They understand that you do have a lot of workload at your office. It is a little difficult to prepare. So one, it shows your persistence, that you were persistent to give your CAT. You have one direction, that you do want to do an MBA. That is one
Okay.
way to look out. And if you bring that, as you said, by doing certifications, by doing other things in the chosen direction, then it shows that this person actually wants to do an MBA,
Yeah.
and he has taken efforts in this direction. So don't think a lot about the gap year. Try to maximize whatever opportunities that you have from here,
Perfect.
be it any competitive exams, or be it
Makes
getting your
sense.
profile sorted out through certifications or something like that.
Yeah. So in the entire journey, okay, of your preparation, okay, of CAT or any other exam, or for that matter GDPI also, there are a lot of times where people go through a dip in their performance. Okay,
Yeah.
there are times where they feel low. Okay, there are times where they feel that probably I've taken a wrong decision. Okay, this is not
Yeah.
my cup of tea. Okay, this happens with a lot of students. Okay, so this is, I think, the most crucial part, because at this point of time also, okay, there might be certain students who is watching these videos. They must have started preparing some 3-4 months ago. Okay, and they might be feeling that this dip in their performance, or in their mindset, in their motivation. So what always so firstly, did you face, okay, this part in your preparation anytime? And if that was there, okay, how did you deal with that?
Yeah. So definitely I faced this. So as I said, in CAT 2018, which was my first attempt, when I was
Yeah.
preparing, I prepared for 2-3 months and then completely left my preparation for CAT 2018, which
Okay.
was the worst decision that I had made till
Okay.
date.
Okay.
So that is when I realized that persistence is the key to crack the CAT exam. You
Yeah.
need to be persistent. Doesn't matter if you score 100 on CAT mock, doesn't matter if you score a 160,
Yeah.
90, it doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
is just one mock, and your final day is going to be very different from one single mock.
Yes.
What is important is keep being persistent and keep continuing the process that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like from now, there are 6 months. Do not think
Okay.
about the
Okay.
final result or the end result. It is extremely important to like incrementally improve at whatever you are doing.
So when we say persistence, so what happens? I'll tell you. So another question that students will come back to me, and they ask me that, sir, yes, I was being persistent. Okay, I'm like I give 3 mocks, 4 mocks, 5 mocks, and all of that, but my score was going down, and that actually scared me a lot, and because of which now I'm very much worried that whether should I go ahead giving mocks, or should I continue with my CAT plans or not? Okay, so when these kind of thoughts comes, okay, what is the action item, okay, or like the execution point that students should be taking care of?
Yeah. So first of all, setting small goals is very important.
Yeah.
Seeing a score of 150 or a 160, that I need to score 160, and when you are scoring 90s or 95s,
Yeah.
and then going from 95 to 160, which is a 65 score
Yes.
gap. If you think about that 65 score gap, then you will never reach there.
Yeah.
Think about increasing 5 marks. So
Yeah.
5 marks, be it in 2 marks in verbal, 2 marks in cons, 1 mark in DILR. Think
Yeah.
about plus 10 increment. Try to keep small targets and try
Yes.
to analyze the mocks very well. That why is your
Yes.
score going down? And I personally faced the same issue, that my scores were going down, or maybe it was consistent
Okay.
about 110, 120. It was not
Okay.
going beyond 120. That is when I realized that there is some problem. And I talked to a few mentors, and they told me
Yeah.
that selection is the criteria.
Yes.
How you select is the criteria. Which questions you
Perfect.
select is the
Obviously.
criteria. So
Yeah.
there is no problem in your preparation. It is just how you give the mock. If
Okay.
you talk to people, then that will improve. So don't worry a lot about the mock marks that you are getting.
Okay. All right. All right. So I think we'll take some more questions from students. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think Akhil was asking that how to make the initial days useful and complete the course in what time. Okay. How many hours? Okay. So yes, Akhil, I'll sorry, Parth, I'll just put this question to you first. Okay. that how would you do the initial days?
Yeah. So about the initial days, now I think I'll first talk about cons. Get your fundamentals right. CAT and especially CAT and MAT and ZAT. These three exams are, especially if you have your fundamentals right, is extremely crucial. You may you like different online courses or everything will tell you different tricks how to solve these questions easily, how to apply this formula, but think how the formula has been derived. How is the actual basic of that question? That is very important for cons. So the initial time, take 1 month to go through each and every chapter to understand the fundamental of each and every chapter, each and every topic at con. In RC, think about reading as much as possible. As I said, initial days, read as much as possible for about 15 days, 20 days, and then try and go for a sectional test. In the start from now, start sectional test from now. That will give you a very good idea about how to attempt in verbal section. And DILR again, DILR 8 sets. But actually, if you solve 4 sets, then you are scoring above 90, 92, 93 percentile. So selecting those 4 sets is again very crucial. So definitely at DILR, interpreting data is very important.
Okay.
But in the initial days, what you can do is there are Venn diagrams. There is sort one set of Venn diagrams. Try to master the Venn diagram sets as much as possible. Try to solve different kind of BI and LR sets. So these are the few things which you can do in the initial days.
So I think, so how many hours a day you used to study, okay, while you were working and all that? So Karan has this question. I think Karan is a working student, okay?
Okay.
So he's just asking about that question, that how to manage your time
How
along
to
with your
manage
work.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you do that? Yes.
So I try to put in 4 hours daily, 1 hour in the morning. So I used to wake up at around 6:45, 6:30. I used to study from 7 to 8, 7 to 8:30, depends on the time. Then I actually, my work was 20, 21 kilometers away where I was working. So traveling was a huge problem for me. But then I made sure that once I'm back home at 7:30, I start at around 8:30. I study till 10:30, 11. I try to maximize the night time 2.5 hours that I get. So if you can put in 4 hours a day, 2 hours cons, 1 hour verbal and 1 hour DILR, then I think it will be good enough. And on Saturday, Sundays, definitely take one mock for 3 hours on Saturday, Sunday, and do some con revision and analyze the mock as well. So 6-7 hours on weekends per day. So 7 hours on Saturday, 7 hours on Sunday, and 4 hours on weekdays every day will be very good if you are able to dedicate this much time.
So there, in fact, Parth, okay, a lot of people have this doubt that whether they should leave their job for preparation, okay, or like 2 months before CAT, they should leave their jobs and all that. So as per you, is that a good decision to take, or it depends on a lot of factors, and then students should analyze their own personal case and then take a call?
No, so definitely you should analyze depending on which point you are and how much marks you are scoring, what age you are, and how many CAT attempts you have taken. There are many factors which come into play. It took me about 1.5 months to actually make a decision: should I leave my job or not? I would have talked to at least 20 people, and everyone told me the same thing. It totally depends upon you.
Yes.
So definitely, so there are two things which I like to say from my own experience. One, that you will definitely get more time when you are taking a break from your job, but at the same time, the stakes become very high.
Yes.
And CAT, what I have realized is that on the how much ever you have prepared for 1 year, 2 year, it doesn't matter. But the final day, the D-Day performance is extremely important. And if you are nervous on that day, if you're thinking that, oh shit, I have left my job, and what if I am not able to crack it, then that becomes very difficult. So I did face a little bit nervousness about 15-20 days before the CAT exam. Luckily, I did not face nearer to the exam. But that nervousness is a criteria which you might think that, okay, it is not that big a thing. I might not get nervous, but people do get nervous if the stakes are so high and you have left your job. So do think about that definitely.
So I think that also is as a personal choice. Okay, that
Yeah.
someone who is able to perform under pressure. Okay, because when the
Yes.
stakes are so high,
Definitely.
for some people it might go on a negative side also. That
Yes.
with these high stakes, okay, that the performance might get a hit. For other
Yes.
people might be the other case, okay, that if the stakes are so high, they might probably push them to another extent and get the best out
Yes.
of themselves. So I think
Yeah.
that's a good point that we have brought here, okay, that it
Yes.
depends on a lot of other factors. And I think students out there who are listening, okay, I would say that discuss this thing with your mentors, okay,
Definitely.
and
Definitely.
then take a conscious call of what you should do. Okay.
Definitely.
All right. And so in how many days, so Hari is asking that in how many days it took to complete the portion, okay, before giving the mock test. Yeah, so that also brings in this
Ha.
important question that should I give full length test, okay, only after completing the entire syllabus? Because
Yeah.
completing the entire syllabus itself will take a good amount of time.
Yeah.
So I think what we suggest is that you should at least start with your topic wise test or sectional test
Exactly.
and all that.
Exactly.
Okay, so some light on this, that when you started off your prep, okay, and when was the first test in terms of the full length test, okay, that you gave, and in terms of the sectional test, okay, the first sectional test that you gave. So how much of the difference was there between that?
Yeah. So one very wrong information or notion that we have is like CAT is like an engineering exam or 11th, 12th exam, wherein you complete the entire portion and then give 5 mocks and that's it. CAT,
Okay.
again, when I'm saying what is important is how you give that mock. how you
Okay.
how you utilize those 3 hours is extremely crucial, and that is what you will learn by giving sectional tests as much as possible and by giving real
Okay.
mocks as much as possible. So don't
Okay.
think that acha, okay, I'll give 1 month for cons and 1 month for verbal and 1 month for
I know.
DILR, and then after
I
three
know.
months I'll give section
Yeah.
tests and then
Yes.
give the full mock test. Please don't be in such a wrong
Yes.
impression.
Yes.
Start that, as he said, start the topic wise test as soon as possible. If you have studied one
Yes.
topic, say PNC today, then
Perfect.
give the 1 hour sectional test or topic test today. At the end of every week, give one sectional test. Doesn't matter if you have not prepared. If you have only prepared arithmetic, then doesn't matter. Only pick the arithmetic questions from that sectional test and solve them. So sectional tests start from, I think, from the weekend, from the
Hmm.
next weekend, coming up weekend. Start the sectional test. Start the topic test from tomorrow, and
Yeah.
the mock test, okay, maybe give 15, 20, 30 days and then
Yeah.
start giving the mock test.
Yes.
So I started preparation in mid-March. I gave my first mock test in about mid-April or something.
Okay. So part the first ever full length mock that you gave. Okay, do you remember what was the score in that? Like
uh,
first full length mock.
it was about 110, 105, 110. It
Okay,
was
so that
about
was the
that.
first mock that you gave, and that was the score. So if
Yes.
I talk about the first attempt that you gave that time.
Acha, okay, so the first attempt that I had given was CAT 2018. The
Okay.
first one that I had given, I had gotten about 86 or something.
Okay, 86, around 80s.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then because for a 98, okay, it is close to around 150 that we should get. So that
Yes.
yeah, so that took some time.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So the reason I'm bringing this point,
huh,
okay, and I want to emphasize here for the people who are listening, okay, that understand, okay, from your mock number 1 to your mock number 20 or 30, whatever, I don't know how much ever mocks that you plan, it is going to be a drastic gap, okay,
definitely.
drastic difference. Okay, so I think here Parth was one of the good students who start at a 80s. Okay, you will find a lot of students who start at a 50s also.
Huh,
Okay.
yes.
And from
Yes.
50 to a 150 score, okay, or 160 score, that takes a total of 20, 25 marks. So that is also
Yes.
a very important thing. And
Yeah.
taking that into consideration in the initial phase of your preparation, okay, because someone over here was asking for the initial phase. Initial phase, the gap between the full length marks is going to be more. Okay,
Yes.
it's probably
Definitely.
after in 2 or 3 weeks you can give one mock like that. You can start off initially, but
Yes.
then post September or the post August phase,
Huh.
there your frequency of mocks will be more.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Definitely.
it's not that like in the initial phase probably the increase might be a little less, but then midway you will see that your scores will increase by a higher margin, and then
Yes.
towards the end it will again be the margin of increase will be less once you reach
Yeah.
to that bracket of
Yeah. Yeah.
140 plus. Okay. All right. So Anuja is asking that what was your source of study and how did you specialize coaching and all that? Oh God. All right. So that's in terms of the coaching preparation and all of that is what
Mhm.
Anuja is asking. So anything that you would want to answer on that front?
So I think nowadays you have like a lot of material available. There are different
Yeah.
coaching institute, different classes. I'll say that
Yes.
join wherever possible. So it's
Yes.
about giving test series. The most
Yes.
important thing is about test series. You can join any coaching classes. They are going to teach you the fundamentals.
Yeah.
It is something which you have studied from grade 1 to grade 12. That is
Yes.
going to remain the same. But then after that, what is important is giving the different test series that is
Yes.
possible. So join 2 or 3 of them. Continue one MBAP as a really good test series. So you can continue that from first to the last mock that they are giving, and then give 3 or 4 from one class, 3 or from one other test series, or 4 or 5 from other test series, depending on that.
Yes.
You'll get a different flavor of the. So definitely, this is not the actual people who are preparing the CAT, but then every person has a different mindset. There are different people
Yes.
who are preparing, so you'll get a variety of questions. You'll get a variety of approaches from different
So yeah,
test series.
that in fact this is something that even I also preach a lot, okay, to students, that always try to have variety, okay,
Yeah.
because definitely, for example, our MBAP notes or books, okay, or mocks that we see is definitely on a little higher side, okay. So there are people who find it difficult at times giving our mocks. There might be some other institute, okay, which might have an easier approach, okay, which might have an even more difficult approach than us. So it is important to give a variety, okay, from all the other institutes when it comes to the test series that you plan to be. All right, and I think so Ruchika is asking about the college thing. So Ruchika, just to answer your question there, see, if someone can prepare along with job, okay, I think with
Ha.
college you have even more time.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is definitely manageable. Okay. All right, and I think we have covered most of the things. So one question I think which no one has asked till now, okay, is SP Jain selection process is quite a spoken matter out there. When
Yes.
especially it comes to the group discussion and personal interview and a
Yeah.
group interview kind of things that they
Yes. Yes. Yes.
offer. So many a times people are scared when they hear of the word group interview,
Yeah.
okay, and they think that how are they going to face it.
Yeah.
So, firstly, if you can just explain or rather give a real picture of what went through your SP Jain process, okay, and how
Ha.
did you prepare for it and crack it?
Okay. So I have given SPGen group interview twice in
Okay.
2018, where I was actually waitlisted, and 2019 when right now
Yeah.
I've converted it. So
Yes.
SPGen has a very different process from I think any B school, any other Indian B school.
Yeah.
Firstly is they'll have a form A which you have to fill, which is the
Yes.
first form, and it is a pretty detailed form. Once you make it, once you get the final result, if you have made it or not. So there are two shortlists that they give out. One is a profile based shortlist, and there is a score come profile based shortlist.
Yeah.
The profile based shortlist comes somewhere around December end or January start, and the interviews are only in Mumbai for the profile based shortlist, which is about mid January. They give you
Yeah.
about 15 days. After 15 days, you have your interview. And then the score shortlist comes out about first week of Feb, and by mid Feb you have the group interviews for the
Yeah.
second profile come score based shortlist.
Yeah.
Now the interviews for both of them are pretty similar.
Yeah.
You have two group interviews.
Yeah.
First group interview has 4 or 5 people, and the main aim of that interview is to know how much knowledge you have
Yeah.
in the field which you are working or in the field which you have done your graduation.
Yeah.
The main purpose is how much knowledge you have in that field.
Yeah.
After the first group interview is over, there is about 15-20 minutes break,
Yes.
wherein the SPGen students they come,
Wow.
they talk with you about your process, and then
Okay.
the actual result of that first group interview comes.
Okay.
So it might happen that 3 of the 5 get shortlisted, 1 of the 5 gets shortlisted, none of them
Okay.
get shortlisted, or all of them get shortlisted.
Okay.
Then comes your group interview 2, which they jumble up, and you'll be giving it with other
Yeah.
candidates. So the group interview 2 is moreover ethical based, and moreover how you think.
Yes.
What will be your approach to different ethical dilemmas?
Yes.
So, for example, which is the
Yes.
most
Yes.
important virtue in your life? Or they give a
Yes.
situation about pickpocketing.
Okay.
Then how will you react in such a situation?
Okay.
So after you get a short list for either profile based or a score come profile based, there is a form B that opens in that
Okay.
application. So the form B is a very detailed form wherein they ask about your life experiences.
Okay.
Based on that form as well, they ask you various questions.
Okay.
Now the thing is that because it is a group interview, people think that it is like a group discussion,
Okay.
wherein you need to cut the other person, you will be compared with the other person.
Okay.
But for SPJMR, it is actually not at all like that. It is a very, very disciplined group interview wherein each and every person is allowed to speak, and you are not compared with the other person, or you do not have to be better than the other person. Your competition is not the people who are sitting in the room. Your competition, your actual objective is to tell what you really feel and how well you are able to articulate it, or how well you are able to think about that at the moment.
Yes.
So it is not like a group discussion where you have to cut the other person, or there is a cutthroat competition in the group interview. It is very chilled out.
Exactly.
It is very friendly, and the professors they actually help you a lot. They make you very comfortable. So it is a really good process to go through.
Okay. Great. I think that has covered a lot. Okay, there towards the preparation. So towards the end, I'll just have one quick round of question answers from student if they have anything.
Yes.
Okay. So people out there, if you have any questions that you want to ask me or Parth for that matter with regards to preparation, CAT, or anything for that matter, time management. Okay, I think we have covered a lot of things. But anything that you want specifically to ask, okay, you can ask, or else I think we are good to wind up the session. All right, so I think we have covered most of the things. Okay, so
yes,
thanks, Parth. Okay, thanks for joining in for this session today. And I think some more discussions, okay, in the course of CAT preparation. Okay, so if anything that we need, okay, we'll again get in touch with you, and we can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and all the best for your new innings that is going to start. Okay, with SP Jain. Okay, and so stay safe, stay at home. Okay.
Yeah.
All the best.
So all the best to all the people who are actually giving the CAT in 2020.
Yes.
All the best to everyone, and be safe in this situation.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.